Welcome to Bible Story Time with Miss Jenn and Miss Shelly. We are so glad you're here with us today. We have a super exciting story to tell about Joshua, who is a great hero in the Bible. He actually followed Moses in the Bible and took over leadership of the Israelites and was trying to follow God's plan for him and for his people. But before we tell that story, we get to make something super cool. We get to make a shofar. Can you guys say that word? Shofar. It's actually looks something like this, but although they can look different, they're made out of antlers or horns off of animals, and they are actually horns that you blow. And the Jewish people would use this for celebrations, and they would blow it and make a really great sound. I'm not going to blow this one because it's not mine, it's Pastor Corey's, and we want to be safe and not put our mouths on anything that somebody else has put their mouth on. However, I will blow this one, which I just made, and you guys get to make one at home too, so that you can blow it while we're telling the story later on. All right, so this is what you need. You're going to need a paper plate. You're going to need a piece of construction paper, whatever color you would like. You're going to need some yarn or some string, and it's going to need to be pretty long. This is doubled. Some stickers, if you have those at home, or some markers or crayons, some Scotch tape, a stapler, some scissors, and I think that's about it. And we're going to get started. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Now remember, if you're not allowed to use a stapler or scissors by yourself, to get an adult or an older brother or sister to come and help you out. All right, so we're going to take our paper plate and we're going to make it in the shape of a cone. And a cone looks something like this. So there's a small end on one side and a bigger end on the other side. Now, this plate is pretty sturdy because it's made of cardboard, so tape isn't going to keep it closed. That's why we have this stapler. So take the stapler and you're going to staple it like that, and it'll keep it in position. You shouldn't need any other tape, but if you feel like you do, you can go ahead and use that as well. And that would be just to go like this and keep it a little bit more secure. Now you're going to take your paper. I happen to have pink because this one was red, and I thought I should maybe do a pretty colored one. So, not that the red isn't pretty, but it's just a little different. So, we'll take the pink paper, or whatever paper you have at home. Now you're going to use the tape, and you're going to tape it onto the plate like this so it's stuck and won't fall off. And you're going to continue to wrap it around in the same shape as the plate, which is what kind of shape? Do you remember what I said? A cone. You're going to take the tape again, and you're going to tape the paper like so. And you're probably going to have to tape it down lower too so that it doesn't fall apart. Just so you know, the paper plate is inside because it's sturdy and it'll help keep your horn together. I would take a little more tape and tape the paper onto the plate so it doesn't fall out. And you see how there's some extra edges? We're going to cut that just to make it look beautiful. Just like so. Now we have our stickers and our markers, and you can decorate it however you want. You might want to put your name on it, but since I already have one, I think I'm going to put Miss Jenn's name on it, and I'm going to give it to her after we're done. So I'm going to write Miss Jenn. I think she'll like it. What do you guys think? It'll be a nice surprise. Then I have some very cute caterpillar stickers. Purple is Miss Jenn's favorite color, if you didn't know. And orange is right here. Let's hope it stays. Oh, that one might have lost a little bit of its sticking. Oh, I got it. Maybe. And how about a big ladybug? Put her there. Just like. Does that ever happen to you guys at home where your stickers don't work? It's okay. All you have to do is grab some glue and put it right on. All right, so you get the idea. So you've put your stickers on. Then you're going to take your yarn. Remember how I doubled it, so you got to make it long. And you're going to stick it right through the opening. And grab it, and then you're going to tie it into a knot. I like to take the string and double it like this and wrap it around my fingers and just stick it right through, kind of like you're tying a balloon. Just makes it super simple. And the reason we put that on is so you can actually wear your shofar. So before we get to the Bible story, we have a great song by Miss Jenn, and I believe it's called Joshua Fought the Battle of Jericho. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came a-tumbling down. Now you may talk about your men of Gideon, you may talk about your men of Saul, but there's none like good old Joshua at the battle of Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. And the walls came tumbling down. And the walls came tumbling down.
So we are back to hear this great story about Joshua. Now remember, I told you that Joshua followed Moses in the Bible, and he was helping to lead the Israelites to the promised land. And he was great at following God's orders and listening to God. And actually, I forgot to mention that this story comes from the Bible. Remember, I always show this to you because I want you guys to know that if you want to read the story again or to learn more, that you can use a Bible at home, and your story is going to be the same as the story I tell here today. So Joshua is in the Bible. It's the Old Testament, and he is leading the people out of I guess, really suffering into this great new place that God wants them to go. Now, he gets this order from God, and he says, God says to him, you're going to go to this town called Jericho, and it's going to be yours. And Jericho is like this major city with a huge wall around it, like a really tall, solid wall, like this one. Have you guys ever used blocks at home to build something super, super tall? Well, that's how their wall was. And they had this wall up because they wanted to protect themselves from the Israelites. They didn't like them, and they were probably maybe afraid of them. And anyway, so they had this big fortress up, and the gates were locked, and the Israelites could not get in, and the people didn't go out because they had everything they needed right inside. So God tells Joshua, you're going to go to Jericho, and you're going to take your people with you, and I'm going to give you some instructions as to how this city is going to be yours. Now, I'm sure that Joshua thought it was very far-fetched what God was asking him to do. What God told him was, you're going to get 7 priests, and the priests were leaders in their community, and they're going to have shofars. Remember what we just made? Actually, you could get yours out because you're going to need them in a few minutes. And they're going to hold those, and they're going to blow the shofar for 6 days really loud. There's going to be people in front of them and people behind them. And one of the things that the people are going to be carrying is an ark, and that is where God's promise was kept in this big, giant thing. It was kind of like a little house with the important promise of God inside. And so they guarded it. One day we'll tell a story about that. So anyway, so here's this big, giant wall. Can you guys see me? Oh, I'm going to do like Pastor Corey did, and it's all going to come tumbling down before I even start. I'm going to be very, very careful. All right, so they have to get their shofar. I'm going to run and get mine. And the priests have it, and they're supposed to march around the walls of Jericho, and they're supposed to keep blowing. Everybody else is supposed to be really, really quiet. So they take it like this, and they're blowing their horn. And they do it one time a day for 6 days. Can you count to 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the 7th day, they have to do it 7 times around the entire city. All right, let's see if you can do it with me. You guys have your shofars out and blow your horns. That's 2. I'm tired already. How would they do it 7 times? And it's a big giant city. All right. How many times was that? Was that enough? Was that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it was only 4. Oh no. 5. I don't know why my voice is getting higher. Is your voice getting higher or louder or deeper? 7, and then all the people had to shout really loud, and the walls came tumbling down. Can you believe it? It was the craziest thing ever. All they had to do was blow their shofar and then scream all at once, and then the walls came tumbling down, and the city was theirs. Do you think it was really from blowing that horn, or do you think that God was at work? I know what I think, and I know what the Bible tells us. It's because Joshua and the people obeyed God that the walls came tumbling down and the city became theirs. And really, the important lesson of this story is that we need to be following God and listening to Him and obeying Him, because He is there to help us and to guide us. And when we do that and we follow that purpose and that plan, anything can happen with God's help. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. We have one more song coming up from Miss Jenn, and then that'll be the end, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Hallelujah, praise ye the Lord.
Don't pass out. Are you okay?
Yeah.